Okay, so after the massive video that was my Kraken Time Trash or Treasure review, we're heading back into spin-off territory with 2 games for 1 review. Starting off this combo review is Ratchet and Clank, All for One, originally pitched as 4-play. Again with the sexual innuendos, Insomniac. It was released for the PlayStation 3 in fall of 2011, and it received rather mixed reviews, scoring a 70 from critics and a user score of a 6.5 on Metacritic. So, is All for One really that mixed, or is it a diamond in the rough? Let's find out! So the story of All for One goes something like this. Quark, who is now president, goes to Luminopolis with our galactic duo to receive something called an Intergalactic Tool of Justice Award. Turns out Nefarious, who teleported away from his exploding space station from the last game, revived a creature called the Zigroot, which turns on Nefarious. So we get through Luminopolis, get captured by a giant ass pod called Ephemeris, hopefully I am pronouncing that word right, and after escaping and making acquaintances with a small girl named Susie, not the one from Deltarune, as well as getting a gadget called the Vacu, we learn that Ephemeris is being controlled by someone named Commander Spog. We beat him eventually, and after going through some filler planets, we meet Dr. Frumpus Croyd, who tells us that his old colleague Dr. Nevo Binkelmeyer, what the fuck are these names, stole the plans for Ephemeris. And after reaching the final level, Uzo City, we meet Nevo and learn that the true mastermind is this furry little guy named Mr. Dinkles. Again, the fuck is up with these names? We beat Dinkles and this thing called the Loki Master, which is also called the Toranuk Spirit. Honestly, I would prefer that name over the Loki Master because Toranuk Spirit just sounds more badass. Which actually dies at the hands of Nefarious himself. So, happy ending! Croyd and Nevo reunite along with Dinkles and Nefarious reverts back to being a villain. All I can say is, holy fuck, what a mess. In terms of stories, this is by far the most confusing one I had to read. The story just feels like it's all over the place, and we don't spend as much time in certain areas, much akin to the older games, and even the Future Trilogy. But, how's the gameplay? Can that possibly save All for One? The gameplay of All for One is quite simple. You alone or with 3 other people, online or locally, platform and shoot. Though, if you want to play online, you need a season pass. This was back in 2011 and games are already pulling this shit? Cut me a fucking break! So, out of the 4 playable characters, we have Ratchet, Clank, Quark, and for the first time in the series, Dr. Nefarious. Now, if you're playing solo, you are partnered with the game's AI partner. Fun. Overall, the gameplay is mediocre. Not bad, but not good either. Here's a fun bit of trivia. If you purchase Little Big Planet 2, you actually get to see the trailer for this game. Just thought I'd toss that in here. The OST, akin to the future games, is kind of forgettable. It gets to a point where I have to listen to the music outside of the game due to all the guns going off in said game. So, let's recap everything real quick. The story is a mess, the gameplay is meh, and the OST is forgettable. Here's my conclusion. Ratchet & Clank All for One is a game that I just can't see as a worthy game to release after the massive success that was A Kraken Time. Apart from this game being one of the bad spin-offs, this is a game that I would suggest if you have friends with you. But given how the current state of the world is, that will most likely not gonna happen anytime soon. Overall, All for One gets my score of a 5 out of 10. Now, on to the next game, because as I said in my Kraken Time Trash or Treasure, this is a double review special. Ratchet & Clank Full Frontal Assault, aka Q-Force, was released for the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation Vita in fall of 2012 for the PlayStation 3 and summer of 2012 for Japan, and spring and summer of 2013 for the Vita version. This game is meant to be a 10-year anniversary game for the franchise. So, is this game a worthy contender of a good anniversary game, or is it the Sonic 06 of the Ratchet & Clank series? As always, let's find out. So the story, akin to All for One, is a mess. All you gotta know is that the main villain is Stuart Zergo. Remember him? He's the guy that gave us the armor magnetizer back in Going Commando. So I say it's quite fascinating when a game gives the spotlight of villain to an otherwise one-off character. But that's where the good of the story comes to an end, because of the gameplay. I know that I haven't summarized this story, but I already tried to summarize the story of All for One. I deserve a break before I lose my sanity. So the gameplay of Full Frontal Assault is basically a 3D third-person tower defense game. I'm not even joking here. In order to get weapons, we go to a weapon pod and do a minigame. Why the hell can't I just purchase a weapon normally? Enemies are all over the damn map. Just let me farm bolts and purchase the weapon normally, game. Does this game even have an OST worth remembering? No! Because most of it is just atmospheric. At least to me. So, let's recap. The story is shit, the gameplay is shit, and the OST is practically non-existent. So, here's my conclusion to this game. So, overall, Full Frontal Assault is, while not as bad of an anniversary game like Sonic 06, and especially not Sonic Genesis on the GBA, we already got a better anniversary game in the form of the Ratchet & Clank HD Trilogy remaster of the first 3 games. Why was this game even made? Why did it have to be made is the more important question to this thing. Overall, Full Frontal Assault is just not a good game. This game gets my score of a 3 out of 10. But now, I want to know from you all. Did you play All for One and Full Frontal Assault? And can you possibly recommend them to a friend? Leave your answers in the comments below. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And while you're here, follow me on my social medias and GameJolt. Links are down below as always. And while you're here, consider subscribing and turn on the bell to be notified when I make a new video. We are almost done with this Ratchet & Clank marathon. So, is Into the Nexus a worthy contender of being the epilogue of the Future Saga? Well, like I said, you just have to subscribe and turn on the notification bell of when that video comes out. I've been Horror Kid, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody.